Part 95. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 943. Maybe it was because of the mutual attraction between strong men and strong men. Lubuletin also felt that the other party had extraordinary aura, which was completely different from the people who came up just now, so he responded directly, of course, no problem, if the strength is enough, you can also become a core disciple of the section. Although it is not clear what kind of system this sect has, Lubuletin and Ma Chao have never introduced it before. But as soon as I hear the words core disciple, it already makes people feel very powerful. There is no need for core disciples, as long as I can exchange martial arts with strong people, I will be satisfied. After finishing speaking, Lu Mingzi also showed off his weapon, an iron rod. Although this iron rod looks unimpressive, it is actually very weighty, but it is slightly smaller than Lubuletin's Fangtian painted halberd. The two men bowed to each other and started fighting immediately. As soon as the game started, Lubuletin took a strong offensive stance, not wanting to leave any room for the other party. But this Lu Mingzi didn't seem to be as weak as he thought. Crowbar dodged the attack of Fangtian's painted halberd, and successfully jumped to the rear of Lubuletin, preparing to kill him. But who are you? You will definitely not be hit by the opponent so easily. Bang! A crisp sound. After the sound, the two people distanced themselves again. Just from the exchange of blows just now, you can already clearly judge that this Lu Mingzi is not an ordinary person. Not bad, at least a lot better than the ones just now. Please give me more advice. Ma Chao was watching the competition on the other side of the stage, but he couldn't help but smile. If this Lu Mingzi is not a person with evil intentions, he can really be allowed to join the sect as a core disciple. Exist. In fact, the so-called core disciples are just names for people who can be trusted. Those who cannot be trusted can naturally only exist as outer disciples. In any case, we can meet such a strong opponent at the beginning of today. It seems to be a good thing. Even if I can't find other disciples today, it's good to be able to use Lu Mingzi as my own. The fight on the stage was extremely exciting. After the confrontation just now, the two contacted again. There were more than 10 pictures, which made the people in the audience excited. Even the other street performers on the street were attracted by this fight. Lu Mingzi seemed to be a very good person in their hearts. Master, now there is such a number one person who can compete with him, which is indeed very attractive. Although Lu Mingzi is a very strong person, he is still a bit weaker when fighting against Lu Bu. After 3 rounds, the two after 40 moves, Lu Mingzi was finally unable to hold on and was defeated by Lubuletin. When Fangtian pointed his halberd at Lu Mingzi, who fell on the ground, the outcome of the battle was already clear. However, Lubuletin will definitely not kill him. This is just a competition. It is not really about killing the enemy on the battlefield. Just click and stop. I lost, and I was convinced. I am indeed very powerful, I want to join your sect. Lu Mingzi, who just got up from the ground, said. Glad you can join our section. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 944. Ma Chao, who was watching from the sidelines, also stepped forward and said to Lu Mingzi, now that you have successfully joined our sect, the first thing you should do is recruit troops with us. Lu Mingzi smiled. Of course, no problem. After seeing Lu Mingzi being defeated, everyone at the scene also changed their previous attitudes towards Lubuletin and Ma Chao. And because Lu Mingzi has now successfully joined the Longwu sect, everyone is starting to get a little excited and want to join the sect that they have never heard of. In an instant, dozens of people rushed over and surrounded Ma Chao and Lubuletin. Ma Chao and Lubuletin did not expect that such a thing would happen. It was just a small competition just now. It was indeed a surprise that it could bring about such a big change in the audience. But no matter what, it is a good thing to have such a result. There was a long queue of people who registered on the spot. Everyone was curious about what kind of sect this Longwu sect was, and that such a powerful master would appear. The boss of the sect must also be a good person. The on-site registration work is proceeding in an orderly manner, and with Lu Mingzi present, many people feel very relieved. In the following few days, the news that Longwu sect was recruiting disciples had spread throughout the streets and became one of the hotly discussed topics in the city. Moreover, the news of Lu Mingzi's defeat also spread. The people in the city were shocked by this incident. Even those who did not plan to join the sect would come to join in the fun and see what was going on. Over the past few days, the number of people signing up has skyrocketed. Basically, everyone in the city has signed up, and the number of people counted was much higher than the rising number, which completely exceeded expectations. Being able to achieve such an effect is actually largely due to Lu's Heiming. Regardless, the end result is pretty good. After the city had been promoted, Lu Buletin, Ma Chao and Lu's Heiming headed to the next city. During this period, if you encounter some places with a large flow of people such as inns on the road, you will also be promoted a little. Since then, after traveling to several surrounding cities, the number of people recruited has reached thousands. In fact, such a number of people is already very large for the number of sects in this world. Except for those famous sects, it is basically impossible for other sects to reach this level of numbers. Lu Feng was also very surprised. He originally expected that there would only be 300 or 400 people at most this time, but he did not expect that the number would actually reach about 3 times the original estimate. Having recruited so many sect disciples, the name of Longwu sect has already made many people aware that it already has a certain influence in the nearby area. But this alone is definitely not enough. To rely on the current influence to dominate the martial arts world and unify the world is simply nonsense. So after finishing all the nearby areas, Lu Feng set his sights slightly further away. Lu Buletin and Ma Chao received the order again and took everything with them to the next city. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 945. As soon as they arrived here, Ma Chao and Lu Buletin encountered the annual Lantern Festival. Taking advantage of this perfect opportunity, the two came to the stage in the evening. After discussing with the troop leader, they gave the other party a sum of money. The stage belonged to Ma Chao and Lu Buletin tonight. After the two people came to the stage, they immediately took out the things they had prepared before. At this time, everyone in the audience saw the sign. What are you doing? Why don't you sing opera anymore? If you don't want to sing, get out of here. I've never heard of Longwu men. Ida Euro trademark s such a wonderful lantern festival, what are you doing? A sect that I have never heard of actually dares to ruin our elegance. How brave. Many people at the scene raised objections. They don't care about which sect recruits disciples at all. All they care about is that they want to watch a show here. After all, today is the annual Lantern Festival, and the plays sung in the festival are very unique. Everyone has been waiting for it for a long time. Many people at the scene were already angry. In order to calm everyone's anger, the leader of the theater troupe had to stand up immediately. Please be patient, they only need half an hour. After half an hour, the original play will continue. After the leader of the theater troupe said this, the anger of everyone at the scene was finally calmed down. But until now, no one is very interested in Longwu men. Everyone just hopes that this half hour will pass as soon as possible, and they can just watch the show as soon as possible. Some impatient audience members were ready to leave and come back after half an hour. After all, during this half hour, you can still see other performances on site. Everyone wanted to leave. Ma Chao hurriedly stepped forward and shouted, "We, Longwu men, are now challenging the public. Anyone who can beat us will get 100 taels of silver. If not, there will be no punishment, and you can even beat us many. This is 100 taels of silver. Many people at the scene turned their heads immediately after hearing the news. Sure enough, no matter what time it is, money is still very important. There is a saying that money can solve everything. Not a thing. Are you telling the truth? Don't you have any jokes? You have no joke. After saying that, the people at the scene immediately became excited. Everyone is very interested in this kind of thing where there is no punishment and there is a high possibility of getting money. I'll go first. Not long after he said this, a man with half a mask rushed up. At this time, Lu Buletin stepped forward and took out Fang Tian's painted halberd. The people in the audience saw this. After the weapons, there was a lot of discussion. This weapon is so special, I have never seen it before. I heard that there seemed to be people with special weapons in Bianzhou. Could it be them? I think you are right. A friend of mine just came back from there, and yesterday he told me that those people are also recruiting disciples in the sect, so it must be them. I didn't expect them to actually come to our side, which was really a surprise. I heard that they are very strong, and even Lu Mingzi is no match for them. Three Kingdoms, I have a job transfer palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 946. The man wearing a half mask said to Lu Buletin, if you are really that powerful, it is not a bad idea to join your section, but remember, I will not show mercy. After saying that, the man took out a handful from his sleeves. Folding fan. Lu Buletin also rushed towards the opponent unceremoniously with Fang Tian's painted halberd. As the two clashed, the sound of weapons clashing could be heard. Only then did everyone realize that the folding fan in the man's hand was made of metal. Lu Buletin also felt a little surprised, but it actually made no difference to him. The man's skills are good, and his martial arts foundation seems to be very deep, especially his lower body is very stable. It seems that he should be very good at light work. But that's just it. Qinggong is very powerful, but other aspects of Kung Fu are not very good. It is impossible to defeat Lu Buletin just by using Qinggong. And compared with Lu Mingzi, this man wearing a mask is slightly inferior. Lu Buletin sneered, made a very confident gesture, and shot down the man's folding fan with one hand. Under such circumstances, the man failed to stand firm, staggered a few times, and almost fell to the ground. However, due to the man's light body, he still managed to avoid it very cleverly. Give up, you are no match for me, Lu Buletin said. The object is not over yet, it is too early to draw conclusions now. It can be clearly seen that the man is very confident, but he does not seem to be very clear about the strength of his opponent. The two exchanged a few more moves, but from this point on, the gap between the two sides became very large. Before, Lu Buletin always wanted to see what the opponent would do before making a plan, but now the situation was different. Lu Buletin directly used all his strength and defeated the masked man with just one move. Everyone at the scene saw that after this situation, many people felt that they had made a mistake before. It was a great honor to be able to see such a competition within half an hour. Before, everyone was still shouting to protest this matter, but now the attitude of big change had occurred. After the masked man got up, he admitted his defeat very cleanly and expressed his willingness to join Long Yumen. With such a person as an example, others began to express their willingness. Join. Although they still don't a Euro trademark T know exactly what the sect is like, everyone is full of expectations. Maybe eat a Euro trademark S because of their last experience, so Lu Buletin and Ma Chao don't a Euro trademark T have much to say about the change in this situation. They were so surprised that they quickly started the sect's recruitment activities. Because of their many previous experiences, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao finished everything in the remaining time. Half an hour later, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao came out of the Lantern Festival venue with a lot of achievements. Because today is the Lantern Festival, the number of people recruited has reached the expected number, and the publicity effect is better than usual. But Lu Buletin and Ma Chao both. What I didn't notice was that in the crowd below, there was a man in a cloak who had been staring at the situation here. He was paying attention all the time and was very concerned about it. After the two left, the man disappeared into the crowd and disappeared. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 947. In the following time, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao urgently recruited many people to join the sect. After this period of hard work, no matter how strong each person is, Longwu sect is now a sect with thousands of people. In terms of numbers, Longwu is already a large sect. Back at the sect, basically all the addresses have come to report, and almost everyone wants to see the true face of the sect leader in Lushan. However, Lu Feng felt that now was not the time to show his face, so he kept wearing a mask to prevent others from knowing who he really was. In fact, it seems that he has conquered so many disciples, and there are also a few relatively strong and talented people among them, and Lu Mingzi is one of them. But the two people Lu Feng wanted to conquer the most were Naifeng and Buletin Jingyun. These two people will make great achievements in this world, and they will also promote the development of the storyline of this world. Therefore, as long as these two people can be conquered, the next task of dominating the martial arts world and unifying the world can be expected soon. Originally, he wanted to use Lu Buletin and Ma Chao to attract these two people, but they have not shown up yet, and there is not even any news, so Lu Feng started to feel a little worried. Therefore, we can only continue to keep Lu Buletin and Ma Chao outside. While promoting the sect, we can also attract some powerful people. When Ma Chao and Lu Buletin were recruiting disciples, a man wearing a black cloak suddenly appeared in front of them. At first, the two thought that the other party came to sign up to join the sect, but seeing the other party's aura, it seemed that it was not that simple. See you at the Chenghuang Temple outside the city. After the man in the cloak finished speaking, he left the scene directly, and others could not help asking why. Lu Buletin and Ma Chao looked at each other, and finally decided to wait until the disciple recruitment was over this time to go over and see what was going on. After 2 sticks of incense, the two of them appeared at the gate of the city god's temple outside the city. As soon as they entered, they saw the man in the cloak from before. The other man took off his cloak, and a middle-aged man appeared in front of him. "I wonder why you asked us to come here," Ma Chao asked. "I recently noticed the situation between you two and found that you two are actually very strong. I know you already have your own sect, Longwu sect, but this sect has just been established. What if you two join my world? May I ask who you are? The world will help the master to dominate." The reason why Ma Chao and Lu Buletin asked about each other's identities was entirely because Lu Feng had already issued an order before. When meeting some people who seemed to have a strong aura, they had to ask who their identities were. If it was Naifeng he Buletin Jingyun must bring them back to the sect. Unfortunately, the person in front of them is not the person they are looking for, so the two quickly rejected Xiong Ba. But Xiong Ba did not give up. He had already taken a fancy to Lu Buletin and Ma Chao, so I made up my mind to let the two of them join the Tianxiawai before giving up. If you are not here to join Longwu men, then there is nothing to say. After saying that, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao were about to leave the city god's temple. Xiong Ba rose into the air and came directly in front of the two to block their way. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 948. Don't be impatient, please listen to me. Longwu Men is just a small gang, Tianxiawai is currently the largest gang in the world, and its strength is superior. It is definitely the obvious choice for the two of them. No, we won't join other gangs. If there is nothing else, then there is no need to say it. After saying that, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao left the city god's temple very resolutely. Xiangbei kept following behind, and he did not intend to give up just like that. Facing these two strong men in front of him, Xiangbei very much hoped that they could help him. Xiangbei this he is full of ambition, so he needs many strong people to help him. However, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao have been very loyal to Lu Feng from beginning to end, so no matter what he says, they will never agree. Seeing their attitudes like this determined, Xianbei also felt that it was not good to keep entangled like this, and it was a waste of time. He simply said to the two of them directly, how about this, I will compete with you two, and you two will join together. If I win, you will join the Tianxiawai, otherwise, I will never bother you again in the future. Yes, things in the martial arts must be solved with martial arts methods. Lu Buletin and Ma Chao nodded to each other and thought this method was okay, so they agreed. The five-hook god Fei Yin Liang Qian and Fang Tian Huaji both appeared in front of Xianbei, but so far, Xianbei is still bare-handed. Show your weapons, Lu Buletin said. I don't need weapons, you two just go up and use your full strength, no need to be merciful. Lu Buletin's face changed drastically. You must know how tall the grass on the grave of the last person who said such words to him had grown. Moreover, Lu Buletin was naturally arrogant, and he also had very good strength. He couldn't bear the fact that someone would treat him with such contempt. With a cold snort, Lu Buletin rushed out first, followed closely by Ma Chao. The three of them struggled together, turning the place inside the city god's temple upside down. Xianbei used his magic skills. Frost Fist moved between Lu Buletin and Ma Chao with ease, without any flaws. Lu Buletin and Ma Chao never expected that the man in front of them was actually more powerful than they imagined. This was a joint effort between the two. But they were not able to defeat the other party within 10 moves. If other people join forces, not to mention 10 moves, even 5 moves may not be able to defeat them. 10 moves, 20 moves, 30 moves? As time went by, the fight between the two sides became heated and heated. At this time, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao discovered that the strength of this tyrant was far more than that. In the dozens of moves just now, the opponent still did not use his full strength. He still had to keep a hand. And Xianbei also discovered that Ma Chao and Lu Buletin were more powerful than he thought. He originally thought that he should be able to win, but after dozens of battles, he discovered that these two people had joined forces. ETA Euro trademark S really uncertain who will lose and who will win in the end. I don't a Euro trademark T know why, but Xianbei actually started to regret it. If he had known earlier, he would not have let these two people go together. If they were to fight alone, they would definitely win. But a gentleman a Euro trademark S words, si ma difficult to pursue. There is no reason to go back on what you said before, otherwise how can you stand in the world? After all, Xianbei has a good reputation in the world, but he can't let it go to waste like this. 3 Kingdoms, I have a job transfer palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 949. When the two sides exchanged 100 moves, both sides stopped in unison. I see no need to continue the fight. We are on equal footing, Xiangbei said proactively. After so many moves, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao also knew that the two sides were equally powerful in this battle. It was basically a draw. If the fight continued like this, it would be meaningless at all, and the final result would be nothing will change. So even if we are tied, what will happen? Ma Chao asked. Let it be a draw for today. I will come back to fight you two another day. Xiangbei is also a generous person. Since he has not won, he will not get entangled too much, but he will not give up easily. After Xiangbei left, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao looked at each other. It seems that this person is not simple, so we should go back and report him. After saying that, the two returned to Longwu Men. After Lu Feng learned the news, he frowned for a moment. This situation did not wait, but it summoned the big guy Xiong Ba. It just made Lu Feng feel a little bit strange. According to the strength of this Xianba, Lu Buletin and Ma Chao should not be his opponents. Why are they tied? There is only one explanation, that is, the current Xianba is not in good condition, and there are some other reasons. In any case, now Xianba has targeted. We have found Lu Buletin and Ma Chao, but Naifeng and Buletin Jingyun have not been found yet. It seems that we need to pay more attention in the future. I am afraid that the next task of recruiting disciples cannot be continued by Lu Buletin and Ma Chao, and it is better to leave it to others. Okay. Anyway, Longwu sect is already somewhat famous in the world. After everyone spreads the word, many people now know about this sect. As for Xianba, they must be one step ahead of him. Find Fen Jiayun and Fen Yun. In order to ensure that Xiong Ba does not find Fen Yun, Lu Feng can only go into battle in person. Fortunately, he has never shown his face before, and even the address in the sect has never known what the gang leader looks like. In this way, the form will follow. Ita Euro trademark s a lot more convenient. Bujia village in Hangzhou is where Buletin Jingyun was born. His whereabouts are still unknown, so Ita Euro trademark s safest to search for him from the place where he was born. After Lu Feng arrived here, he immediately began to search for Buletin Jingyun, but he didn't seem to know him. Just when Lu Feng was confused, he suddenly remembered Buletin Jingyun's childhood experience. When Buletin Jingyun was a child, his father died in a foreign country, so his mother took him and transferred him to the Huo family, so at this time, Buletin Jingyun should still be known as Huo Jingzhu. He changed his name and asked, and this time he finally knew the location of the Huo family. As long as he went to the Huo family to see if the family had been exterminated, he would know the current time. How far has the line developed? If the Huo family was wiped out, Buletin Jingyun should have been rescued by Wu Ming's master and apprentice. Otherwise, they can help Buletin Jingyun overcome the difficulties in his childhood. When the time comes, it was easy for him to join the Longwu sect. After asking all the way, Lu Feng finally came to the Huo family. But seeing that Xinjiang had long been turned into ruins, Lu Feng could only lament that he had to continue searching. He only hoped that the current timeline should not develop to the point where Buletin Jingyun has changed back to his original name and joined the world to become Xiongba's second disciple. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 950. Lu Feng felt a little uneasy, and he didn't know why. He always felt that Fen Yun had already been taken under Xiongba's command. If this is really the case, it will not be that easy to bring Fen Yun and the others into the Longwu sect. But even though he felt a little uneasy, Lu Feng would still continue to persevere. Only by conquering both Fen Jiayun and Fen Jiayun can the entire Fen Jiayun world be possible together. The entire storyline of Fen Jiayun world is absolutely inseparable from Naifeng and Buletin Jingyun. However, since everyone has begun to suspect that these two people have been taken under Xiongba's command, they simply go directly to Tianxiawai to look for them. Before that, it's best to lure the tyrant away first. The method is very simple, just let one of Lu Buletin or Ma Chao appear in the arena and spread the news, Xianba will naturally find them. After notifying Lu Buletin and Ma Chao, the two discussed and decided to let Ma Chao play. Comparatively speaking, Ma Chao is faster than Lu Buletin, and Ma Chao is better in light kung fu, so if he is allowed to play, he will be less likely to be entangled by the opponent when facing a bully. After Ma Chao went out and leaked the news, he waited slowly at the place where the news was leaked. I don't Euro trademark T know how long I waited. I originally thought that Xianba would not come back, but at the moment when he was about to leave, Xianba finally appeared. Before. Why are you here again? Ma Chao pretended not to know, and was a little impatient. After the last competition, didn't you say you wouldn't come? Xianba responded, last time I said you won, so I stopped pestering you, but in the end I didn't expect us to have a tie, so I waited until now to show up. Otherwise, I would have already gone to your sect to ask for someone. You are quite brave. You can just come to us privately. I didn't expect that you actually have plans to join our section. Are you planning to join the sect? If I can get the favor of you two, I will not hesitate to go to the gym. I never thought that Xianba would be so ambitious, and he was also very thirsty for talents. In order to get the person he wanted, he would actually do such a thing. Don't think that Xianba is just talking. ETA Euro trademark S just a quick talk. If he can say something, he must be able to do it. Lu Feng had already told Ma Chao and Lu Buletin before leaving. Although the two of them were not sure why Lu Feng acted like this, I understand Xianba, but since it was Lu Feng who said it, they will definitely be more energetic. If that's the case, then why don't we compete again? Compared to what? Qinggong, see if you can catch me. In one day, as long as you can catch me, I am willing to go with you to the Tianxiahui to take a look at the situation, and then make a decision. You kid, you have a good idea. The conditions are not to join me directly, but it doesn't matter. You might change your mind after visiting Tianxiahui. Xiangbei has absolute confidence in himself, so even if Ma Chao proposed such a condition, he agreed without hesitation. At least after Ma Chao said this, it means that there is still a certain possibility in the future, which is better than anything. Neither is good. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 951. Since you have already put forward the conditions, Lita Euro trademark S start now. Xiangbei is still very anxious about this matter. To be able to face such a strong talent, he hopes that the other party can join the Tianxiahui. This shows that he is still quite anxious. Let's get started. I'll start running as a signal, and the two of us will check the time first. While talking, the two people were ready and immediately started a fierce chase. Although there was no fighting between the two compared to last time, it was still very fierce. Ma Chao had to use all his strength to ensure that Xianba could not keep up. On the other side, when Xianba was being delayed by Ma Chao, he disguised himself and arrived at the location of Tianxiahui. Stop, what are you here for? Otherwise, two people dressed more like minions appeared in front of them and blocked the way. Is this the Tianxiahui? Yes, what do you want to do here? I have admired the name of Tianxiahui for a long time, and I have always wanted to join Tianxiahui, so I came here after some searching. I also hope that you two can inform me. When the other party heard this, his expression suddenly changed. So you want to join our Tianxiahui? That's quite simple. However, not everyone in our Tianxiahui can join. If you don't have some financial resources, it may be more difficult. At this point, Lu Feng already understood what the other party meant. There are all kinds of people in Tianxiahui, so it is not surprising that the other party would do such a thing. Lu Feng has already been mentally prepared. Since if you want to join Tianxiahui, how can you do it without spending a little money? He took out 2 ingots of silver from his pocket and handed them to the other party's hand. He also said to the other party with a smile, the financial resources must be no problem, this is a small thing. Please accept it as a reward for informing me. If I can successfully join the Tianxiahui in the future, I will definitely not forget these two. The other party weighed the silver, and then replied with satisfaction, come with me, I will take you in. With a wave of his hand, Lu Feng followed the other party and entered the gate of Tianxiahui. As soon as he entered, he heard many people talking about something. After listening carefully, it seemed that they were talking about the Fenjiun duo. Pretending to be curious, he asked the person in front of him, "I wonder if you know what they are talking about." "I'm talking about our first and second leaders here, Naifeng and Buletin Jingyun. You should have heard of their names." "Of course I've heard of them, they are the most trusted people by the gang leader and their reputation is quite big." "That's for sure. Not long ago, the two of them broke through the bottleneck in martial arts and were even stronger than before. Now it is certain that the Fenjiun duo have long been taken under Xiongba's command. In this case, he can just use this opportunity to break into Tianxiawai to meet with the two, and then recruit them to work under him, without a single go find them alone. Ita Euro trademark S. Just that at this stage, they haven't a Euro trademark T had any estrangement with Xiongba, at least not on the surface, so it may take some effort to get them to submit to themselves. But one day is enough, as long as Ma Chao, if he could hold on for a day, Lu Feng would be able to leave Tianxiawai unharmed. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 952. Following the previous doorman to the hall, suddenly a fierce-looking man came out and asked directly, "Who is here?" The doorman responded, "This little brother has admired us for a long time. Yes, so he always wanted to join our Tianxiawai, so I brought him here." "In that case, Lita Euro trademark S. Tell you your name first." That person just now suddenly got into his right position. "Lu Feng. Willow of Willow, Seal of Seal. Okay, from now on you will officially join Tianxiawai. Today you will get familiar with the environment. If you have anything to do, we will talk about it tomorrow." After finishing speaking, the other party took a sip of hot tea. The gatekeeper nodded, and then took Lu Feng out of the hall. "Did you hear what you just said? You have now officially joined the Tianxiawai." "I heard it. Thank you very much for bringing me in." A little disrespect is not a sign of respect. Lu Feng knew exactly what the other party wanted to say, so in order not to waste time, he took the initiative to take out the money. This is fine, it is easy to deal with a person who has desires. Especially the one in front of him, as long as he gives. If he has enough money, it will be very easy for him to do anything. The most difficult people to deal with often have no desire, so no matter what method is used, it will have no effect on him. Okay, today you can get familiar with the environment. If you have anything to do, we can talk about it tomorrow. The other party left quickly after receiving the money, but he couldn't hide the overflowing smile on his face. Lu Feng snorted coldly, and could only lament that there are such useless subordinates in the world. But this is okay, as long as it can be used. Things that can be solved with money are not called problems. After sending the other party away, Lu Feng began to move around the world. Anyway, he just told himself to familiarize himself with the environment today, so he can use this excuse no matter where he goes. It's really God help. While checking the environment, he was also watching and eavesdropping on what everyone said. When others noticed Lu Feng, they came over and asked, "Are you new here? Never seen you before." Tianxiawai has a prominent reputation in the world. Not only Lu Feng, but also many people want to join every day, so many new faces will appear from time to time. The old members have long been used to it. "I just arrived today. I heard that the two heroes Buletin Jingyun and Naifeng were very powerful in martial arts and were taught by the gang leader, so I admire them very much. I joined Tianxiawai in the hope that one day I would have the opportunity to see them in person. Since you have already joined the Tianxiawai, isn't it easy to meet them? Directly to the inner courtyard, the two easternmost houses are where they live. Thanks for the advice, I'll come back as soon as I can. I didn't expect to know the residents of Naifeng and Buletin Jingyun so quickly. The people in the Tianxiawai were really not prepared at all. They told the newcomers such important news casually. They didn't know whether they were really stupid or pretending to be stupid. No matter what, now that the two of them had obtained their residence, Lu Feng rushed there as soon as possible. When he arrived at the innermost part of the east courtyard, he did see two houses that were somewhat different from the houses in other places. This should be the residence of Nai Feng and Buletin Jingyun. Before they walked in, they heard sounds coming from inside.